I'm Ryan Shupit with Active Utah Homes. Welcome back to the channel. If you've been thinking about moving to Salt Lake City, Utah, reach out to me. I always love hearing from you. Whether you're gonna move in 9 days or 90 days or 9 months does not matter. I will ensure that you have a very smooth move to Salt Lake City, Utah. Reach out. I love hearing from you. It's been a lot of fun. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the 9th and 9th neighborhood of Salt Lake City. 9th and 9th is a beloved neighborhood of Salt Lake City. It always has been, really. I mean, I went to high school pretty close to 9th and 9th when I was a kid, and it was a pretty cool neighborhood then. I think it's gotten a little bit more upscale, a little bit more expensive. The homes are more expensive. The businesses that are there now are a little bit more expensive. When I was a kid, the businesses were record labels, Coffee Garden, Great Harvest. There was a lot of loitering and skateboarding and, that sort of thing. I mean, I think that's still kind of how it is, but maybe the businesses are just like a little bit nicer, a little bit more expensive, that kind of thing. So let's talk about 9th and 9th and give you a good idea of what you can expect if you want to move to the 9th and 9th area. I mean, Salt Lake City is like that cool cousin that you always want to hang out with. It's pretty hip, it's happening, it's got a little bit of something going on for everyone all the time, and if you're not careful, it could get awkward in the room when your partner's around. That is a super dark Utah joke. Utah and their cousins, marrying cousins, wow, I don't know. Just teasing, Utah. I love you so much, but I do remember a couple years back when they did make it legal to marry your second cousin here. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know what was going on there, so. One of the best neighborhoods in Salt Lake City is the 9th and 9th neighborhood, and it's a charming, vibrant area. It's just got a lot to offer. I'll tell you why living in the 9th and 9th neighborhood is a really, really good idea as well. I mean, lots of people would love to live there. I think it's gotten a little bit harder to do that because it's much more expensive than it used to be. First, let's talk about the atmosphere. The atmosphere of 9th and 9th as a neighborhood is that it's pretty laid back. It's fairly eclectic. It's got that vibe. Like I said, it used to be the place where the record stores were, and now it has like Cahoots and Coffee Garden, Tower Theater, the chicken shop. I can't remember what it's called right now for whatever reason, but it's a pretty good little chicken shop. They have spilled milk. If you like ice cream, spilled milk is so good. It's got a lot of really great things, but it's just very laid back. It's a little slice of paradise in the heart of the city. It's got tree-lined streets and historic homes and a local boutique feeling to it. I mean, every store feels eclectic. It doesn't feel like a franchise. And you'll feel like you've stepped into a quaint village where everyone knows your name. I mean, maybe not your name, but they're familiar with you. And there's not that sort of like stranger hostility that you experience in a city so much. It's the kind of place where you can stroll down the street, grab a cup of coffee, and strike up a conversation with a friendly neighbor without skipping a beat. Really, I think that's not a crazy thing to say. I think that happens in the 9th and 9th area pretty often. It's a very neighborhood-oriented place. There are a couple of things I'm going to talk about that'll really display that, but I don't want to get to those just yet. They're coming, don't worry. There's some really cool community things that go on in the 9th and 9th neighborhood that I'll talk about in just a second. So don't let the small town feel fool you. The 9th and 9th neighborhood, it's also a hub of activity and excitement. You have Liberty Park really nearby, and hundreds of people are there at any given time. You have trendy restaurants and cafes, funky shops, art galleries. There's always something new and interesting to explore. You can sample delicious cuisine from around the world. You can browse unique handmade goods. You can even catch some live music at a hip local venue, okay? The possibilities are endless, and you'll never run out of things to see or do. And let's not forget about the sense of community in the 9th and 9th neighborhood. Like I was talking about, This is one of my favorite things about 9th and 9th. It's a place where neighbors look out for each other, where local businesses thrive, and where people come together to celebrate and support one another. You have neighbors who are attending block parties. There's a big giant block party that happens in the summer, and there's kind of a community cleanup event, and also they just seem to enjoy having picnics and hanging out in the park with friends, and you'll feel like you're part of something special in this tight-knit community. There are multiple neighborhood events throughout the year. Along with the summer block party, you have a Halloween party that happens, and I don't remember the exact streets right now off the top of my head, but it's one of those things where if you just walk into the 9th and 9th neighborhood, you can't miss it. The whole neighborhood is roped off so that it creates a safe space for trick-or-treaters, and as well as parents who would like to just have a drink and enjoy their kids walking around and trick-or-treating without having to worry that their kid's gonna get run over by a car. Because I'd say that is maybe like one of the downsides of the 9th and 9th neighborhood. You do have fairly well utilized streets that are cross streets, both north to south and east to west streets. And so letting your kid run free for Halloween can be a little bit anxiety inducing, I think, especially if you have like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. But the best thing about living in the 9th and 9th neighborhood is the location. It's situated in the heart of Salt Lake City. So you'll have really easy access to all of the amenities and attractions that the city has to offer. You've got downtown theaters and museums and outdoor recreation areas and shopping centers, and everything you could ever need is really just kind of a stone's throw away. The one thing that takes a minute to access is the freeway. And when I say a minute, I really do mean kind of a minute. Like, I would say to get to the freeway from 9th and 9th takes probably 5 minutes. So, it's really not that far away from the freeway. I think for some people who live right next to the freeway, it feels like a distance away, but it's very close. You've got public transportation options and bike-friendly streets, and getting around town is really easy in 9th and 9th because it's that grid. So living in 9th and 9th neighborhood of Salt Lake City is like finding a hidden treasure in a bustling landscape. You've got the charming atmosphere and vibrant community with a diverse array of amenities and unbeatable location. It's a place that really does have it all. The Victorian homes, the bungalows, the arts and craft homes. It's just very charming. The mature trees, the tree-lined streets, the cute shops. It's kind of, I think, maybe one of the most delightful neighborhoods in Salt Lake, if that is the kind of thing that you like, I suppose. I'm sure there are reasons why people don't like 9th and 9th, maybe like the cars, like I said. But overall, it's a really charming place to come check out. So come on over and make 9th and 9th your neighborhood. I think you'll really enjoy it. And you won't regret living there for a second.